Hello everyone, so in today's video I'm going to be doing a kind of first impressions on the eyebrow soap technique. I saw Desiperkins made a video on this, I think it was maybe a few weeks ago, and I only watched it the other day, and stuff like this always interests me because I just think, how on earth do people find out that this kind of stuff works? It's like the Nivea Post Men's Shave Balm as a primer. That's just not the kind of thing that I ever would have thought to try. I figured since it's a kind of budget way of like setting your eyebrows and giving them a little bit of texture and shape, I wanted to give it a go. This soap cost me less than £1, so you can't really go wrong. And if you don't like the method, then you know you can still use bars of soap in another way. So I did both my eyebrows using it. This video won't be going up for another couple of days, so I'm going to kind of test it out for the next 2 days and give you my overall opinion in the description box. I did also film a tutorial on this look, so if you want to see that, it will be up in a couple of videos time. So yeah, so if you want to find out how I did my brows using some soap, then please just keep watching. So I'm going to do my eyebrows as I normally would do them first, and then use the soap to kind of set them in place as to how I want them to be. I've been using some castor oil on them for the last couple of weeks just to kind of help thicken them up, and I have noticed a massive difference. I've also been using it on my eyelashes as well, and again I feel like it has made a difference, especially on this eyebrow. I feel like they're growing in a lot more. So I'm just going to brush them all kind of up. And I'm just going to do this part quite quickly because I absolutely love using the Anastasia dipbrow pomade. This one is in the colour Taupe. This is the colour that my sister had, and I always used to use hers just to kind of get a feel for the texture, but I just found myself really liking the colour. I know it's probably not the colour that you would expect for someone with my hair colour, but I do like my eyebrows to look that a little bit more cool toned. So I do prefer stuff like this. Sometimes if I want them to look a bit warmer, I will go in with like Cork eyeshadow from MAC. I would like to get like the Auburn one, but sometimes I find that stuff like that's too dark because my eyebrows are fairly light. So if you do have like light blonde hair, or even like a really kind of mousy brown hair, I do think that this looks really quite nice. So I just take it on the lid and just kind of push the product onto the sides of the brush just so the brush is nice and thin. And then lately I've been doing my eyebrows fairly thick. Follow this part and just kind of take it straight across. So it just brings it down a little bit, and then I like to extend my tail out a little bit as well. What I love about this as well is it just gives your eyebrows a little bit of texture, which I feel like is a lot harder to get with like a shadow or a pencil. I just find that I like the finish it gives your eyebrows, and it really does last all day. Just the difference it makes, I think, is insane. So I'm going to repeat the same thing on my other eyebrow and try and match them up as much as possible. The other thing I love about this stuff as well is if you make a mistake, you can just take a brush and just, even with a bit of concealer, I just normally just take a brush and just clean it up, and then just keep kind of fixing it until it's exactly how I want it to look. The next part of this kind of technique is the soap. This is the soap that I bought. It was the only transparent soap that I could find in Asda. I don't normally buy soap like this, so I did have to kind of look around. But all the other soaps were white, like, you know, like the Dove soaps. I think that Desi mentioned that you're better off using a transparent one so that you don't get like white bits in your eyebrow. So this is the one that I've got. I haven't even opened it yet. It's by the brand Pears. To be honest, I'm not exactly sure like how much of this you're supposed to use. I was kind of like looking at different people do it, and some people did this bit before they like drew on their eyebrows, but the thing is I would imagine that it'd be hard to go over it. I find it myself okay getting the shape, but I just want to give them a little bit of like texture and just keep the hairs in place all day. So I've just got a little like shot glass with water in, and I'm just going to dip my brow spoolie in the water, and then I'm just going to take this so I get some of the soap onto here, but I'm guessing I don't want this to be too wet. I'm just getting the kind of whole brush covered in the soap, but because I don't know how much I don't want to use too much. And then I've just got a makeup wipe, and I'm just going to kind of take off any excess. And then now that I've got this a little bit like wet, just pick up some more. So I'm just going to start off with a little bit because I don't know how much I need. So it's definitely all nice and soapy. I'm scared it's going to ruin my eyebrows though. So I'm just going to take it, and I'm literally just going to use it to shape my eyebrows. I'm going to start off in the outer corner, and I want them to be quite nice and smooth and flat. But these eyebrows kind of right at my arch tend to stick down, whereas I want them to stick out like that a little bit more. And then start to brush these front ones up a bit. It's hard to kind of say, it doesn't seem to be like ruining my eyebrows in any way. But like if I touch them on this side, they already feel like they're a little bit like hard, but they don't look like they've got loads of product in, which is something that I sometimes really dislike about like brow gels and things like that, because they do tend to look a bit like you've got loads of product in. But it does give a nice bit of texture so that you can see all the brow hairs, and I think it just adds a little bit more of like a natural finish to a very kind of cleanly done brow, which is something that's very hard to achieve. I think it's very hard to achieve brows that look naturally like really defined, unless you're lucky enough to have like naturally defined eyebrows that only need a little bit of filling in, whereas obviously I've thickened one up. But they feel a little bit like almost sticky, and I like the fact that it gives you that little bit of time to kind of play with them. But I think especially because considering that bar of soap was, I think it was like 54p or something, compared to spending nearly £10 on a brow gel, and now that I'm kind of going through them again, I can feel that they're set. So I really do like that method. I think that if you're someone who has quite naturally, like you naturally have quite a lot of eyebrow hairs, I think that this is perfect. I think it's a really good method of taming them without having to use a lot of like brow gel and things like that, which can sometimes just look a bit messy and it can be really hard, whereas with that you've got time to work with it. But yeah, so I actually really do like that method. It's definitely something that I think I will continue to try. I think the thing that will obviously test it is to see whether or not this lasts all throughout the day. If I touch my eyebrows, they still do feel a bit like sticky, so whether or not that's going to set completely or if it's going to stay like that. I definitely would say to do, personally, I think that you should do this after you've like drawn on your eyebrows or filled them in, just because I can't see product going over the top of this very well, especially because as it's soap, you know, I generally use like soap to clean my brushes, so I just find it might be a little bit more slippy and it might be a little bit more likely to melt off. But I think if you're going to apply it on like after, I think it would be a lot better. So I'd definitely say give it a go, especially considering how cheap hand soap is. But just make sure you get a clear one, because I could tell when I was doing it that if that would have had, like, I mean, I know it's orange, but it's transparent orange. It's not like a opaque kind of orange. So I do think that's something to, you know, like make sure that you are doing. So I'm just going to finish up my makeup because I am filming a makeup tutorial on this look. So if you do want to see that, it will probably be up in a few videos time, which I'll link it down below once it is up. So I will be right back. So that is everything for this video. I love little like hacks, and I just love stuff like this. Would never have thought to try anything out like this if it wasn't for stuff like YouTube. So yeah, so if there's anything else like this you want me to try, see if it works, give you my opinion on, then please be sure to let me know. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! We are dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust.